You see, here is the sea, Mr. Sanders, so calm and apparently unchanging. And yet it is part of my new conception about the nature of the world at this same sea. Many times in the past history of our Earth has rolled over the surfaces of the land masses, sweeping away all life and vegetation and eventually returning again to its former bed.
This is the part of the biblical theory of the flood and the theory of people of other races.
Oh yes, this actual event, the last one, is recorded in all the sacred scriptures of all the old civilizations, from the Hindus to the Bible.
It is a classic tale. A powerful deity looks down upon mankind in the earliest days and is displeased with what they see. In an effort to wipe the slate clean, they create a deluge that engulfs the entire known world in water, drowning all but few select survivors who go on to repopulate the earth when the waters recede. Though this narrative is often attributed solely to the biblical story of Noah, more than 200 stories of great floods exist in cultures spanning the globe.
In the past years, many pieces of evidence are emerging, proving the existence of ancient mythical continents, which were flourishing with life thousands of years ago.
Mysterious civilizations and lost cities are peppered throughout history, from the lost city of El Dorado to the biggest missing civilization of all, Atlantis.
From ancient Greece to the Polynesian Islands, from China to the Mayan Empire. How is it that so many cultures, separated by vast distances of time and distance, all tell so similar a story?
The world has witnessed the establishment and demise of many great civilizations which claim the lives of millions or lead to the migration of its people to other parts of the world.
Many groups of people have said to have existed and then disappeared, leaving no trace, only reappearing in stories, myth and legends.
In ancient times, since Plato gave the theory of lost city of Atlantis, scholars from different countries started to believe that there are still some undiscovered cities similar to Atlantis.
One such place, albeit lesser known, was or is Lemuria.
In today's video, we look at the similar tale of Kumari Kandam, a lost continent.
The lost continent we're focusing on in this video is the mythical continent of Lemuria, which was believed to be located in the Indian Ocean.
What is Lemuria? When was it lost? And more importantly, has this lost kingdom just been rediscovered?
In the 15th century, some Tamil scholars revealed that the whole continent known as Kumari Kandam or Lemuria was submerged in the Indian Ocean due to the rising sea levels after the last ice age ended.
Lemuria, or Mu as it is also known, was a continent which was said to have been located in the Pacific Ocean. Like the Atlanteans, they were said to be highly advanced civilization. their influence is also very similar, appearing in myth and legends of many different peoples and cultures across the globe.
The mythical continent is said to have existed in the south of modern-day India and is located below the Indian Ocean. Tamil people considered Kumari Kandam as their lost home continent. But when the continent started drowning due to rise in sea level, the Tamil of this continent migrated to other parts of Africa, India and Sri Lanka and mixed with other groups, leading to the formation of new races, languages and civilization. This is how the Tamilians claimed entire humanity is descended from the inhabitants of Kumari Kandam. According to their belief, it is the cradle of civilization, the place where everything started. However, the word Kumari Kandam was first mentioned in a 15th century version of the Skanda Purana, the largest Mahapurana, which was written by Kachiyappa Sivacharya. It is described as the kingdom of earth in the Andako Sappadalam section of Kanda Purana.
The first time scientists started to talk about this land was during the mid-1800s, when a British lawyer and zoologist, Philip Sclater, wrote a paper entitled The Mammals of Madagascar. Sclater found that lemur fossils were extremely abundant in Madagascar and India. But curiously, these fossils were entirely missing in Africa and the Middle East. This observation led Sclater to propose that during one point in the distant past, India and Madagascar were connected by land and were part of a broader continent he decided to name Lemuria.
In his theory of a landmass, he said the continent was extended from Africa to Asia, agreeing to the Tamil nationalist belief.
Everyone from the Hopi Indians to the Hindu mystics has talked about the land that was located to the east of India. This location was decimated by natural disasters and lost to time and history.
Many other scientists proposed the existence of such a continent as well. Etienne Geoffroy Saint-Hilaire, who is a French naturalist, also speculated about an ancient land connection between Madagascar and India in 1840. The British naturalist Alfred Wallace proposed in 1859 that only a sunken continent could explain the fauna found on the island of Celebes.
Its placement in what is now called the Pacific Ring of Fire is somewhere where a natural catastrophe could take place on such a massive scale. The only thing remaining of this great culture being the stories that have been handed down from generation to generation. These legends describe the people as sun worshippers and theorize that the survivors may have founded the Egyptian civilization, with Ra and the worship of the sun being a holdover of their beliefs.
As sun worshippers.
2 Kings 23. They put down the idolatrous priests, whom the kings of Judah had ordained to burn incense in the high places, in the cities of Judah, and in the places round about Jerusalem. Them also that burned incense unto Baal, to the sun, and to the moon, and to the planets, and to all the hosts of heaven.
Several theories and discoveries took place to claim the lost cities and nations.
The massive landmass of Lemuria would have stretched from India to Australia. This fits with the location these new continents are said to be.
The land was divided into 49 Nadu or territories. These are 7 coconut territories, 7 Madurai territories, 7 old sandy territories, 7 new sandy territories, 7 mountain territories, 7 eastern coastal territories, and 7 dwarf palm territories.
Just like Atlantis, the ancient landmass disappeared under mysterious circumstances tens of thousands of years ago.
According to them, the now drowned Kumari Kandam was ruled by Pandyan kings for over 10,000 years, making it the oldest civilization on the planet,
and was then forgotten by most of mankind. The legend surviving only in ancient texts known to only a select few. The timing of the disappearance also fits with the model that has been proposed by Graham Hancock, whom I believe is on the money with his theory of a great cataclysm wiping out a much older global civilization. There have been a number of studies which have proven that these submerged continents do exist on the Earth. Incredibly, scientists have discovered a continent in a matching location off the east coast of Australia. This continent is around 5 million square kilometers and has been hiding in plain sight for millennia.
An example of this is the lost continent of Zealandia, 95% of which is now submerged in the ocean.
Around 5% of this landmass is visible today. This small part of the continent being visible, the majority of it being submerged. This is the reason why so many have missed such a large chunk of the planet under their very noses. This is not the only evidence which hints at submerged continents. The area between mainland India and Sri Lanka has a very curious geological formation. Found in the Palk Strait of the Indian Ocean, this is a peculiar geological area, a thin strip of land that connects the south of India with Sri Lanka. It is called Adam's Bridge.
There is plenty of evidence which proves that some of the legends there, as crazy as they sound, are actually real.
One piece of evidence can be found in the contemporary times which support the existence of Kumari Kandam is 1.7 million years old artificial Adam's Bridge in the Palk Strait in the Indian Ocean, also known as Rama's Bridge.
According to Hindu tradition, this is a bridge built by the Hindu god Rama. It is written of in the Hindu epic Ramayana,
which according to the epic Ramayana built a massive bridge between mainland India and Sri Lanka.
According to researchers at India's National Institute of Oceanography, about 14,500 years ago, the sea level was lower by 100 meters, and about 10,000 years ago, it was 60 meters low. This study strongly suggests that there was once a land bridge connecting the island of Sri Lanka to mainland India.
What we see could in fact be a collapsed ancient bridge, now partially submerged under the ocean. The texts from the Ramayana even describe the building process in great detail. The process contained survey, planning, execution, and post-completion, all of which are fundamental parts of the process of every architecture, even today. There was even a chief engineer of the project called Nala, which is why the bridge is also known as Nala Setu, or the Bridge of Nala. The texts give details of all the materials used for the construction, and all the types of trees which were first piled on the sea ridge to provide a pile foundation or wood cushion effect. On top of them, large and small stones were piled, and on top of the stones, a flat finished level was arranged. The Vinara monkey people even held ropes on both sides of the bridge to build it in proper linear alignment, a technique used even today. The entire story was confirmed to be a truly historical event when Dr. Badri Narayanan, the former director of the Geological Survey of India, examined the structure, and his team drilled 10 boreholes along the alignment of the bridge. What he discovered was startling. About 6 meters below the surface, he found a consistent layer of calcareous sandstone, corals, and boulder-like materials. It was obvious that the ancient bridge was man-made. Further investigations confirmed that the bridge was created around 7,000 years ago, the same period the Ramayana was written. According to the Ramayana, the ratio of the bridge was 10:1, length to width. Measured today, the bridge is about 35 kilometers, or 21 miles, long, and 3.5 kilometers, or 2.1 miles, wide. The exact ratio of 10:1 as described in the epic.
The ancient texts say that the Lemurian continent separated from the mainland sometime during the Mesozoic era due to rising seawaters, another tie-in to the legends of the Great Flood, which is now showing as fact in the geological record, with this said to have happened between 10,000 and 15,000 years ago. This also matches with the records from India's National Institute of Oceanography, which say the sea levels were around 100 meters lower some 15,000 years ago, before the legendary Great Flood. Adding to the evidence is another ancient continent that was once located between India and Madagascar. Remnants of this second ancient continent have been found scattered across the bottom of the Indian Ocean. According to geologists, 3 billion years ago, a continent covered the ocean where the East African island of Mauritius now lie. This filling in another piece of the jigsaw when it comes to maps of the ancient world.
Naturalist and marine biologist Ernst Haeckel, who discovered and named thousands of new species, mapped a genealogical tree relating all life forms, and coined many terms in biology, published his book, The History of Creation. This is what he wrote. The probable primeval home, or paradise, is here assumed to be Lemuria, a tropical continent at present lying below the level of the Indian Ocean, the former existence of which in the Tertiary period seems very probable from numerous facts in animal and vegetable geography. But it is also very possible that the hypothetical cradle of the human race lay further to the east in Indostan or further India, or further to the west in eastern Africa.
Could a world-spanning flood have actually taken place? The oldest known flood myth comes from Sumerian mythology. Though much of the texts have been lost to time, the basic premise has the gods set out to destroy mankind, while the sea god, Enki, secretly informs Ziasutra, the ruler of Shuruppak, to build a large boat. Consequently, the Great Deluge rains down viciously over the course of 7 days and 7 nights. With so many cultures spanning the globe, telling a tale so eerily similar to one another, in spite of such vast distance, speculation begins on whether or not there was indeed a deluge that flooded the earth.
I personally do believe that when it comes to dating, when it comes to history, especially really ancient history, especially undocumented history, there's far more that we don't know than we do know. So could a continent have disappeared into the ocean? Absolutely. Do I think it's the lost continent of Lemuria? I have no idea. And the only thing to do is do your research, listen to different people's opinions, and then make a decision for yourself.
Though there are numerous myths about a great flood, with many unique elements to each story, they all have recurring elements of humanity becoming problematic, a god or other higher power becoming angry and wrathful, deciding to wipe out the world with water, while a select mortal or group of mortals are chosen to survive and begin the world anew. Could there be truth to myths of floods that span the entire globe? Perhaps we will truly never know. One thing that is for certain: water is the most powerful element on Earth, with the ability to both destroy and replenish. And nowhere is that more apparent than in the stories of a great flood, devastating all life, only for it to regrow, stronger than before.